This guy curls up into a ball and keeps his butt up. He holds this position almost every day because he was determined not to shit. Otherwise, he would go to prison for life. He's already more than impressive. He has gone 7 days without pooping. When he was lying on his back or sleeping, he would wake up because he is literally full of shit. Then he would just pull his ass up. The cops are all over the place. Beg him to just poop already. They even got all the good stuff for him. Tasty eggs, freshly baked scones, and freshly squeezed orange juice. Come and taste these. The cops even feed him the food, but the guy refuses all of them. I know you guys want me to eat more food, so that I would finally lose it and poop. You are all horrible people. In fact, the reason he won't poop is not because he doesn't want to, but because he is afraid to do so. The guy's name is John. He goes to Thailand with his buddy Joe, and they start a drug trafficking business. Have you ever seen a human carrying drugs? They grind the drugs they got into powders, put them into a condom and tie it into a ball. Then they cut off the extra parts, and then they go to the bathroom to empty their stomach. Dip a drug-filled balloon in honey. Swallow them one at a time. John asks Joe, "How come you are not eating?" Joe says, "I've already swallowed like 30 while you were in the bathroom." He then tricked John into swallowing 20 of the drug balloons. In fact, Joe didn't eat a single one of them. At the security check, Joe passed successfully. However, this is the first time John does this. He sweats all over his face, and his back is soaking wet. It's like he has "I'm trafficking drugs" written all over his face. The officer asks him, "How come you only bring cigarettes and a crystal ball? You can't travel abroad without luggage." John casually says that his luggage was stolen. When the officer is about to let him go, John is on his way out. Someone behind John says, "Don't forget your luggage." The officer notices something is wrong and detains him. Two cops are playing rock, paper, scissors. Whomever loses has to see the suspect's butt. The female officer isn't so lucky. It's her turn to see the suspect's butt today. John takes off his pants and sticks up his butt. The female officer checks with a flashlight, but she didn't find anything. The cops don't believe it, so they took him to the hospital for an x-ray. The doctor checked and found there is something in his stomach, but couldn't be sure if they were drugs. They can only make sure after John pooped. The police had to temporarily detain John for 7 days. They sealed all the hotel ventilation with duct tape. They also installed toilet filters, and have officers to be with John 24/7. Just sit there and wait for him to poop. According to the law, the police had no evidence, so they can only detain John for 7 days. If he doesn't poop in 7 days, he can walk free. Now we are at the next day. This is Operation Hold Your Shit In. John has drugs in his stomach, and Bruce the cop is being really nice. Brings all the nice food for John. Almost they're begging him to poop. Bruce also checks John's butt to see if he poops or not. Bruce asks, "Why are you just not pooping?" John says that he is constipated. Bruce wanted to give John some laxative to help him do the business, but John told them that he is allergic to laxatives. The cops have nothing to do about this, and John knows for sure. With this much coke, he got busted for drug trafficking and smuggling, and he is for sure going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Day 3. The two cops Bruce and Aaron are sitting on both sides of John. Ask him if he has smoked weed. Are there any hidden drugs? And if he is on cocaine. John got so annoyed. He said he'd never taken heroin. He was just there for a trip. Aaron finds a loophole. "You just mentioned heroin." John is confused. He blamed Bruce for this. He said it first. Bruce is like, "Think straight before you talk again." John instantly has over 100 excuses flying by his mind. What else can I say? Maybe I should just confess on my own. Maybe they won't sentence me as much. John takes a deep breath and about to confess everything, and his lawyer came in at the moment. John feels like his has been saves. Bruce wants to ask more questions, but the lawyer says to John, "You don't have to answer any questions." So, John just says, "I didn't hide anything," and the cops left. John is determined not to poop. He's afraid of going to jail. The lawyer asked him why not pooping. John said he was constipated, but right after he said it, he let out a big and loud fart. It was so awkward all of a sudden. The lawyer smiles and says, "Never mind. There was nothing to mind until it wasn't." I even feel bad for the lawyer through the screen. The lawyer wanted to go on, but the room is unbearable for everyone. The lawyer couldn't stand it anymore. I think we should talk about this another time. Day 4. Joe couldn't get hold on John. He got so anxious and couldn't stop swearing at home. Their boss thought these two had betrayed him, so he sends a hitman to take care of them. Joe jumped from the attic in time to not get killed. Dad told Joe now that John is locked up in the hotel by the police. Joe checks into the hotel room above John's. When there are no cops in the hall, Joe slipped a photo into John's room. It's a family photo and Mom's face got a big X. John sees it now. If he says anything wrong, Mother would be killed. So, the only thing he can do right now is to hold the shit in. And he can get out after 7 days. If this guy poops, he would go to prison for life, because he has drugs in his stomach. John hasn't pooped in 5 days. So, whatever that is comes through the upper end. John sits by the toilet, almost threw his guts out. You are a freaking genius. The food you ate got excreted from your mouth. Day 6. John is still holding his shit in. The cop on duty deflates the balloons right next to him on purpose. He would make fart noises. In order to provoke John. John doesn't seem to care at all. He glances at the cop. Your little tricks won't do anything to me. It has finally come to day 7. However, Aaron finds that 3 years ago, there was this drug dealer held his shit for 10 days. So, he went to the judge and extend 3 more of the detained days. This is so bad. John has to hold for 3 more days. He feels like the world is ending right in front of his eyes. Later that night, John feels like to poop again. There were a saying goes, when you feel like pooping, don't trust any single one of your farts. John didn't believe it. He farted so hard, and all the shit just came out at once. If he poops, he goes to prison. It's been 7 days. He just couldn't hold it anymore. So, he just secretly poops on the bed. John takes the balloons he pooped. They are all filled with drugs. If the cops find out, he would go to prison for life. So, he eats all of the balloons again. He keeps gagging while he keeps eating. 1, 2, 3. He just swallowed all of the 20 drug balloons back down again. They were freshly out of his own, but anyway, after he's done eating, John didn't forget to clean his mouth with the quilt. He cares about hygiene no matter what. After John has taken care of everything, he told the cops that he pooped. They came thrilled. The cops take off John's underwear and check. Nothing unusual. They looked under the mattress. Nothing. Soon the cops noticed the horrible smell of John's mouth. He swallowed them. The cops got so sick and just left. John hasn't pooped in 8 days. He just couldn't hold it anymore. John confessed to his lawyer. He actually has 20 safety balloons, filled with heroin in his stomach. The lawyer asks John to quiet down. You gotta keep going. Don't let them look down on you. It turns out the lawyer and Bruce don't see each other eye to eye. Bruce keeps staring at the lawyer and says, "You look so hot." And the lawyer just wants to slap the shit out of Bruce. The boss has lost it. He asks people to give Joe a knife and have him take care of John. The guy threatens Joe with his dick. It's either him or you. Joe just had to do it. Joe lies to Aaron that he is the captain of John's team, that he is here to check up on him. After a thorough pat down, Joe finally meets John. Joe has his right hand behind him and is ready to take care of John anytime. John says that he didn't say a single word. Since that we are buddies. I have been holding my shit for 8 days. Joe was really touched. Dude, you've been through a lot. Joe just couldn't do it. Day 9. Joe finds Aaron and rats out their boss and says that he is willing to testify against their boss. But Joe never would think of that Aaron is a bad cop. He pushed Joe down from the top of the building. Joe hit a car and died instantly, and John saw everything. It turns out Aaron took the drugs that found into his own pocket, and he sells them again for money. As long as he poops, he goes to prison. Aaron tells John, as long as you poop the drugs out and give them to me, I would write a report and say whatever in your stomach are glucose. You can walk free then. But John never believed him. If he handed the drugs to Aaron, he would probably be dead as his brother Joe. It has come to day 10. John tells Bruce about Aaron, but Bruce didn't believe him at all. He put John's head against the window. You are still a criminal now. How dare you to accuse a cop to be a murderer? Bruce got pissed and went to the judge. He extended 2 more days to detain John. Now John has to stay in the hotel for 12 days in total. This guy hasn't pooped in 11 days. Otherwise, he would go to jail. John has learned the tricks now. When he poops, he only poops 1 balloon out. He pretends to be snoring. And when the cop on duty goes to the toilet, he takes the drug from the balloon into the cop's wine. After a short while, the cop drank the wine with drug and doze off. John takes the key from the cop and took the filter off the toilet. Then he goes and take a nice dump. But there is no water to flush. So, John takes the wine from the cop and flush his shit off. Then he cleans the drug balloons, takes a coin from the cop's wallet, takes the TV apart, and hides the drugs in there. Day 12. John feels more relaxed than ever after pooping, and his lawyer comes to get him. John will be free in 45 minutes. Bruce came to the judge's door, wants to ask for more days of detention, but the judge won't even talk to him. Bruce has to call Aaron and ask him to release John. If this guy poops, he will be sentenced. This cop is bad. He lied to John. You will be here for 6 more days. Shit already, and give the drugs to me. John didn't care and kept watching TV. Aaron tried to convince John, I will give you on last chance. Just hand in the drugs already. Though if Joe was being killed by Aaron, John says. Only if you let me poop in your mouth. Then I will give you the drugs. Aaron went crazy. He grabbed John by the neck. Give me the freaking drugs. John didn't listen to him at all. Aaron pushed John against the toilet and put shards of glass into his mouth. Either shit or eat these. John had to poop. Aaron reached in the shit with his bare hands afterwards, but he couldn't find anything. He got mad and hit John again. Luckily Bruce and the lawyer came and saved John. John was sent to the hospital. He gave a photo to Bruce before he left. Their boss was circled in the photo. Bruce understood now. The boss is the one behind all this. This prisoner hides drugs in his stomach. He just left. And the bad cop is looking for the hidden drugs. He couldn't find them everywhere. Aaron got mad and broke the vase. And then he found a bug in the broken vase. It turns out Bruce got suspicious after listening to John. And he put the bug there. Aaron tried to deny. I was lying to him. I'm just trying to get the job done. Bruce cuffs Aaron. The boss hears siren outside. He opens the safe and tried to get away with his money. However, his distributor who was behind him threw a barrel at him. And the boss died just like that. Bruce came and saw the body. John got released. And he smiled at the TV in the repair shop. It turns out the TV in the hotel room, which has drugs hidden in it, was broken by John on purpose, and it was sent here to be repaired. And the owner of the shop is John himself. So now he becomes the only winner. The end. The name of this film is called The Mule. Questions for today. How many days have you gone without pooping? Comment 111 if your answer is 2 days. Comment 222 if it was 3 days. Comment 333 if it was 4 days. You know what's so crazy about this film? It's based on a true story, and the guy who were based on held his shit for 22 days. How amazing was that? If you think this is good, go see the complete film. Alright, that's it for today's content. Please remember to give me thumbs up and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.